Whoops, I'm doing too much. I want to go show y'all Mr. Mac, and my little screen said, listen, lady, you. So no pictures. Or if I do pictures, it'll be at the end of the segment. All right. Welcome back. Law 10. City of Compton. We're on 10. So we just did 7 to 9. 7 to 9. We got 10. Plan your work and work your plan. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Dale Carnegie. The life. There was this guy named James, a petty hustler. He told me that an Arab grocery store had $50,000 stashed in the back of the store. All we had to do, he said, was sneak in and snatch the money. When we got inside, there was only $300. I was so mad that I punched James in his face and I didn't give him his share of the loot. I later realized the situation was actually my fault, and I learned 2 valuable lessons. Make sure that you have a real plan that is well thought out. 2, never follow someone else's plan unless you have checked it out for yourself. From that point on, I decided that whatever I did, I would investigate it thoroughly. I would weigh all of the consequences and all of the options before I moved on a situation. Some would say I took this planning thing to the extreme, like when I used to make the holes in my stable right down like this. I will be the best hoe I can be. I will believe in myself and remain confident in my hoeing. I will make as much money as I can for Ken to invest in our family. So if you are a female without a pimp, I will make as much money as I can for myself to invest in our family. Or just for yourself, period. Just giving you how to reword that. You can rewrite all this as affirmations. I will not fight, cross, or steal from my wife-in-laws. I will not fight, cross, or steal from myself. Okay. You just do a little bit of word changing there, okay, darling? One day, one of the hosts asked me, Daddy, why do you make us write all down all this? Because my plan is to make sure all of you act in accord, I told her. If it's on paper and you read it twice a day, there won't be any excuses. When I got into the entertainment business, I had to rewrite all of my plans and set a course to take over that game. It took me 10 years for my plan to come together, but I never thought about quitting. I started off wanting to be respected like my daddy, and I hung around the players until I got that respect. Then I wanted the clothes, jewelry, and cars, and I got all of that Last, I wanted to be in entertainment, but I thought, what got me here won't get me there, so I made a new plan and worked it, and here I am today. The ism. They say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Without a roadmap or navigation system, you will get lost. Every plan starts with a vision, then a blueprint, then execution. Amen. Don Christoph looks good. Okay, Don Christoph. It's not enough to have a plan, though. You have to work that plan until you succeed. Most people don't see their plan out to the end. If something's not working or if it's not happening fast enough, they abandon everything. Instead, or other people, abandon whatever it is you look. Anyway. Most people don't see their plan out to the end. If something's not working or if it's not happening fast enough, they abandon everything. They ain't the only ones. Instead, be persistent and come up with a new plan. If that plan fails, come up with another one until you do succeed. You will learn from these mistakes and the things that didn't go right, and that puts you much further along than if you had no plan in the first place. The only way to lose is if you quit. If you know what you want and you don't give up, you will always get it. Come on, Pimpin' Ken. Prince Akeem is what they're showing right now on page 41. Queen female. Queen Witch. We're going to call her Queen Witch. She looks delicious. Anyway. Law 11. Avoid gorillas and Godzillas. Back up from them like the OJs and spin away like the Bar-Kays. Pimpin' Ken. The life. There was this one guy, G Money. I knocked his hoe and called him to serve him the news that would give him the blues. Yeah, whatever, man. F that, he said, sounding very angry. Man, these are the rules, I said to him, expecting he would honor the game. Negro, I don't follow no rules, he said. I'm my own man. In Pimpin, this is what we call Magilla gorillas and Godzillas. A real pimp is a gentleman, but these are pimps in gorilla suits. They hang around pimps. They have hoes on the track working for them. They may even look like pimps, but they are straight simps. The Magilla gorilla wants to fight you or kill you if you knock him for his hoe. If a hoe doesn't bring him his dough, he will beat her without mercy. When he knocks you for your hoe, he doesn't serve you, and he will knock a hoe who isn't even trying to choose him. He may just snatch that hoe up off the track and kidnap her because he wants her. A Magilla gorilla brings the police to the track with his sucker ass behavior. In the pimp game, this mother effer has no place and he's got to go. The Magilla gorilla plays checkers, but a real pimp plays chess. He uses patience and intelligence to set up the gorilla to take a fall. I couldn't force G Money to follow the rules, but I sure as hell wasn't going to let him gorilla me either. After you knock a Negro's hoe, you're supposed to give a pimp action at a hoe to give him a chance to win her back. This is to ensure that she's not making a mad move and choosing you just to get back at her pimp for some grudge. But I decided not to give action to a gorilla because he wouldn't let it go. It was best to just move that hoe to another city. My gosh. He might grab her off the street and beat her to death. One by one, me and my fellow pimps took away all of G Money's hoes and put him out of business. The ism. Gorillas and Godzillas are bad for the game. They are bad business, and as such, they have to go. This is one instance where the real pimps may work together to take care of the situation. In pimping, to get rid of a gorilla, you have to take away his hoes and move them around. So he doesn't have access to them. That sounds like a DV relationship right there, definitely. Brutal. Without a hoe, a pimp ain't really pimping, and without a hoe, a gorilla is just a mean, ugly mother effer. In life, there are always people who can't help but mess things up for everybody. There are bullies with no finesse, who don't follow any rules. They have no respect for authority or anyone else. They have no principles outside of doing what they feel like at all times. When you see these people coming, you either have to do like E40 says and be a professional sucker ducker, or you have to get rid of them. A big enough gorilla may think that nobody can take him out, that he can get away with anything. But even the biggest gorillas can be taken down. Look what they did to Mother effing King Kong. And there's a picture of King Kong with the airplane coming at him while he's on top of the building. Law 12. Ain't no love in this. The biggest mistake a female can make is to think that a pimp really loves her. Iced tea. I need to repeat that. I'm gonna repeat it. That was the whole class right there. Some of these folks think they pimps. The biggest mistake a female can make is to think that a pimp really loves her. I ain't got no tea, ain't got no coffee, but I can sip this. I can sip this lemonade. It's pretty outside. A pimp friend of mine, Sly, told all of his hoes that it's straight pimping with him. And the only thing he loves is cash and more of it. One by one, his hoes came and went until he was left with just one hoe. He sat down this one hoe and said, "It's just you and me now. I want to tell you something that's been on my mind for a long time. Baby, I love you." What the hoe said? "Baby, I love you." "Daddy, snap out of it," she said. "Ain't no love in this game. You a pimp and I'm a hoe. When I'm through with you, I will either get a new pimp or get me a square who knows nothing about my past." Sly looked at this hoe and realized that pimping is a lonely game with no emotion, no commitments, and no love. When Sly told me about his dilemma, I had to refresh. Oh my gosh. His memory about the game. Pimp, you sell real estate. Real estate? Hotels, I told him. If you put feelings over money, you're in the wrong game. "You're right," Sly said. "Ken, have you ever loved a hoe?" "I love all hoes as long as they give me fresh money," I told him. "But this is love for the game, not some square He didn't believe me. "Man, come on, you've had some fine hoes, and I know you had to love a few of them." "Man, I only like a female's looks when they keep the tricks hooks. I like the way the kitty cat feels. Meow. But I like it better when it pays Ken's bills." Woo! The ism. It ain't often that I speak of love, but when I do, it's pimping I'm speaking of. Ain't no love in this. A real pimp only wants a woman to work till the meow hole squirt. He doesn't give a about nothing but the money. As soon as a hoe stops paying, a pimp will stop playing. People in certain jobs get training to allow them to do things without thinking about how it affects people, and a pimp has special training too. When I was very young, I trained my mind never to fall in love. In this game, you learn to deal with without putting your feelings in it. If you catch feelings, your pimp game is done. Jasmine Sullivan said, "Pick up your feelings." I love it. If any business is going to be successful, the bottom line must be the only thing you commit to. Love, feelings, emotion, and happiness are irrelevant when it comes to making money. Money is all that matters. When a stock drops, you drop the stock. He got a picture of his secret stash here. The secret stash looks lovely. Archbishop Don Magic Wand with holding his pimp cup and a pin up. Okay. With his crown on. Excuse me. That's okay. Please. All right. Law 13. Pimp like you're holeless. One hoe is too close to no hoe, and broke is a mother effing no no. Rob Robertson. Oh, na, 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 na. 5 fingers. The life. A true Milwaukee pimpin' legend, Rob Robertson, once gave me some very valuable advice. Pimpin' got you here, and pimpin' will keep you here, he told me. No matter what you do, stay down and keep working at these hoes. Get deep, but in order to stay deep, you got to work at a female 24/7. You got to have females that you're going to F with later lined up and ready to go. You got to work the square clubs, the strip clubs, anywhere, the hoes party. Even if you got 50 hoes, it's never good enough because hoes come and hoes go. He told me about this one hoe he had, a red-haired white hoe who was checking money like the house was on fire. She was dropping it like it was hot, and Rob was picking it up like it was not. This red-haired hoe was making so much money that Rob was living large. He became content and complacent. One day the hoe jumped just up and left. He said he was so lost in the whole money that he couldn't understand it. He was confused and completely taken by surprise. He did not see that coming. She was his only hoe, and he was left holeless and doleless. Bob is now in his 50s, and he will still tell a young pimp, don't get content with one hoe. If you're going to pimp, work until your career is over. The ism. I always expected a hoe to leave. I pimped like I was holeless, always in hot pursuit of a new prostitute and F what my other hoe thinks. It's a pimp say, not hoe say. I was pimping for bread and meat, and if I didn't pimp, I didn't eat. In the same way, you have to work each day like you're never going to make another dollar. Don't just rely on one stream of income. Never put all your eggs in one basket, and always have backup plans for your backup plans. No matter what your situation, work as if you were working for yourself because at the end of the day, you are. Good advice, actually. Very good advice. Constantly look for other opinions and opportunities outside your main income because if you have other options, then you never have to worry about any one thing. When people sense that you're not worried, it makes them respect you more. Whenever you are desperate, and this goes for everything, people will take advantage of you. Every time. Make sure you're not dependent on one particular job, person, or income for your salary. Law 14. Better a turnout than a burnout. Put some wheels on your heels and roller skate the F on out of here. Pimpin. The life. My first hoe, Dirty Red, was not just a veteran, she was on the brink of burning out. Being young in the game, I didn't know this. I just thought that bullshit automatically came with a hoe, and all hoes were trying to run games. She would say, like, Daddy, I don't feel well, being green. I asked if I could get her some soup or take her to the doctor. No, I just want to lay with you, she would say. Feeling sorry for the hoe, I would lay with her. It took me 5 hoes to understand what was going on. I was pimping on leftover hoeing. I was really trying to pimp behind someone else's mess. I had this one burnout who was on. They called him a burnout. I had this one burnout who was only making $400 a night for her last pimp. I knew she was too fine to make that little. So I pulled her aside and I said, baby, if you can make $400 in 4 hours, I will spend the rest of the night with you. That hoe went to the track and worked really hard, and she came back in 4 hours with $400. That told me she had been lazy hoeing. She could have been making that money all along. Female, you've been cheating yourself instead of treating yourself, I said. Now get your back out there and get me $800 more. I had no intention of spending the evening with her. I just needed to confirm that she was indeed trying to play me. When I first started out in the game, I would have put a wig on a pig to get in a gig. As long as that hoe was hoeing, I would have taken her blind, crippled, or crazy, just as long as she wasn't lazy. She could be black, white, spotted, or dotted. Whoops, we're almost there. As long as she got it. I didn't realize then how important it was to be pimping to get rid of the burnouts and replace them with some turnouts. When I finally did turn out at home myself, I realized how much better it was. I was on my block when this girl named Kim, who I went to school with, came up to me and asked about my work. What do you do? She asked. I sell salmon and peel bananas, I told her. She grabbed her face and said, oh my God, you're a pimp, aren't you? I grabbed and I said, you're a hoe, ain't you? She said, damn, Kim, what's your problem? Kim said. I only have one problem. I'm tired of all these tired females that I have, and I need someone new to be down with me, I said, not really expecting her to take the bait. Interesting. She paused for a moment and then said, what do I need to do to join? Female, this is not an army, I told her. You can't join. You got to sell some meow. Give me some money and make it official like a referee's whistle. That was the first time that I had ever seen stars in a woman's eyes. The burnouts I had weren't impressed by nothing, but Kim hung on every word I said. Not only did Kim eventually come to make me a lot of money, but she helped me hone my pimping skills. I was able to mold and shape her the way I needed. She hoed the way I taught her to hoe. She did things exactly the way I wanted them done. The ism. They say that pimps perspire and hoes expire. A burnout is a hoe that has expired. Her time is up like a cigarette with no butt. She been with every pimp on the track. She's cynical, conniving, and mad, and she will try to ruin everything around her. If she's in a stable, she will try to F it up and run the other hoes off. She's on her last leg, and she always wants to start some shh. When this happens, a pimp must find a turnout, something fresh off the press. Ain't no Negro Miss pimped on her. Ain't no Negro poisoned her. The only pimpin' she know is his pimpin', and he can groom her from A to Z. It's a lot easier to teach someone the way you want things done than it is to unteach someone else's bad habits. No one wants to hear, well, at my other company we did things this way. Ooh, it really sounds like a job. Or, my old boyfriend used to do this for me. They want someone eager to learn and eager to please. Most people come into a situation with baggage and bad habits, but if they aren't willing to leave the bags at the door, then you can't let them in. When people get fed up with their jobs, their lives, or their love lives, they can become bitter because misery loves company. These people will try to make everyone around them miserable. A few feet is the only difference between a rut and a grave, and they will try to drag you into the grave with them. Yes, we got about 15 minutes.
Just let you know.
Okay, thank you. I'm already packed up, as you can see. Okay. Oh, wood keeps going, so we're going to keep going. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. He's always checking on me. All right. A few feet is the only difference between a rut and a grave, and they will try to drag you into the grave with them. Get rid of the burnouts in your life. Ooh, honey. That's the sermon. Yeah. You can't help them. They have to help themselves. That's a quick check. Woo! I think I caught the Holy Ghost on that one. All right. Okie dokie. The pimp's crest. This crest is beautiful. Women, power, respect. Okay. Law 15. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And we're going to end with Law 15 for today. It's not bad. They're going to test you, man. Whatever you say out your mouth, they're going to make sure you stand by that. Bishop Don Magic Wand. The life. When I was about 10 years old, I took a $100 bill from my daddy's dresser. My friends and I spent it all on candy. Really? My daddy came to me a few days later and asked me if I took the money, knowing my daddy was crazy and was going to whip my arse. I quickly said, "No, sir." He got down to my level and he looked me in the eye. Say what you mean and mean what you say, because if you lie, I will tear your little up. Woo, honey. I took a gamble. Yes, I took it, I said. My pop smiled at me. All a man's got is his word and his honor, he said. We need to read the 48 Loss of Power next, because it tell you a little something different. Anyway, I thought about that years later when my bottom female reminded me of some I had totally forgotten. I had told her that we could be with her mother on Christmas. However, at the time, I was on a mission for a new Benz. If I let her go home, the rest of the stable would have wanted to go home also. This was one of those times when your honor is put to the test. I had to play this just right. Female, go home and have fun, I told her. I said you could go, and I meant it, so goodbye. But me and the other females are going to stay on the road and get this Benz. The female thought about it for a minute. Okay, Daddy, she said, since you kept your word, I'll stay and help you get that Benz. The ism. No matter how much of a hustler my father was, there were still certain rules that applied. Even on the street, saying what I meant and meaning what I said was one of them. It didn't prevent me from getting what I wanted, and it actually came in handy. I knew that female had a competitive spirit, so I used it to my advantage. She wasn't going to let those other females buy the Benz without her contributing. I found a way to get what I wanted without going back on my words, which probably would have backfired. I would have lost the trust of this one female and I would have looked untrustworthy to the whole stable. Females would test you to the end, so if I said I was going to do something, I made sure it got done. When I said we were going to the players' ball, we went. If I said I was going to buy a new car, it got bought. Saying what I meant and meaning what I said got me out of a arse whipping and it got me a new Benz. Whatever you tell a person, you better think about it before it comes out your mouth. Because if you say it, you have to deliver. They say honesty is the best policy. That doesn't mean you have to tell the whole truth, but you must always keep it real with yourself. If no one else, lying shows a lack of character and an inability to face reality. There are better ways to manipulate someone than to lie. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up for today. Thank you for joining me. I might do a session later after I have gotten out of the library and do some things, but if not, I'll be back with the rest. I'm loving the 48 laws of the game so far, and I'm hoping that you are enjoying it as well. If so, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.